going live. This is a very
flashy.
This is it's an episode, as you can tell by the title. If anyone's watching, it's a very certain kind of episode, and Dr. Boogie, he's going to be talking about some things, you know. He's going to be talking about
life, personal experience, and
so some things he might be touching on is what it's like to do adoption nightmares,
and some of the funny reasons behind some of the stuff.
Yeah, and just having a chat about adoption in general and how it. Just in general, I don't know. I'm sure he's. It's like just normal. Like you don't know any. Like I don't know. You've never been not adopted before. If you know what I mean.
I'm like dangerously.
Yeah. So I'm gonna stop talking in a minute, and I'll let the professional fucking do what he's doing. This is with a strobe light, because we are attempting some
strobe side. Strobe side on the west side. Nothing to do with the east side, but it's all about the north side. Nothing to do with the south side.
That's it.
Exactly.
So we're getting into it. We're getting hot and all the things, and this is jeepers. We're doing it. Like, you know, we're actually doing it. We are doing it for real. This is the episode.
If you like us flashing at you, keep watching. If you don't, keep watching.
Couldn't have said it better. Right, here we go.
Alright.
Is that what?
Yeah.
Just one more sec. Gonna make sure everything's working here. Yeah. So jeepers. Everything's working. Everything is working. Alright, we'll just get on with it.
Alright, let's do it.
So, like I said, I'm going to shut up. Now, we are having an old...
Banter.
Whatever. We're having banter. Okay. I'll just leave you to it.
By the way, anything you say will be used against you in a police statement. Not really. Not really.
Right, so we're gonna be shouting. I'm gonna be drinking anyway. And
I'm not. I don't like drink. I do. No, sorry, I made a mistake.
I changed
my mind. I changed my mind just for this century, decade. And
hopefully this is where, I don't know, man. It's fucking good crack. So, right, jeepers. Oh my god, I can't believe you're actually going to talk about this. Like, honestly, Jesus.
Sure.
It's absolutely bonkers. This is absolutely bonkers.
Oh, I'm
that you're even fucking. Because I remember when we first met, I didn't find out you were adopted till I knew you for maybe 3 years or something crazy.
I wasn't something to tell that.
The first time I met you, I was like, "Where are you from?" And you were like, "Dublin." And I was like, "No, like where are you? What country are you from, or some shit?" And you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm Irish. I'm from Malahide." And I was like, "No, where are your parents from?" And you were like, "Oh, I'm Irish." And I was like, "No, where are you from?" I was getting real frustrated because I'm so confused because you didn't sound even slightly Irish, and I was like, "What the fuck's going on?"
To this day, I thought.
And years later,
people from England will say I have an Irish accent. Like, so I'm in the no man's land somewhere. I'm in like fucking no man's land. It's like, so where am I really from? Where's my accent from? You saying I'm from this place. You saying I'm from this place. Where's the happy medium? It's like, well, it's from their perspective, but my accent changed. I used to have a strong English accent. Basically, I was adopted from Romania.
Let's go back from the actual birth.
Well, I was born in Romania.
You're born in Romania, and do you know anything about anything about your mum or dad, like birth?
Not at all. No.
You know, what's the earliest record of anything to do with you in a birth certificate or any of that kind of carry on? Or?
In my experience, something that is very likely is that I was on a bouncing ball in.
You're on a bouncing ball.
I was jumping on a bouncy ball and a kid's ball just up and down the living room, in the house in Ireland, like with my adopted
that's your
parents.
earliest experience.
Yeah, but that's like one that I'm definitely sure of. But the one that I'm unsure of, but that's possible, is that I was sitting on my mum's lap. My mum that adopted me, and I remember absolutely freezing to death, shaking all over. Yeah. And I was possibly still in Romania, and being like taken over. And I have another really, really crazy thing. This is something that I did. I could have almost to the point past life regression, to the point where you would almost consider it past life regression, that you would think I was being executed in a past life in an electric chair, because one of my memories was being in a chair and then putting cream in my head and trying to assess me with different coloured creams. I do have a very extremely vague recollection of something like that. That I was in a black room in a chair and they're putting a cream on my head. I don't know if a past life regression would suggest that something they were trying to assess my brainwaves in this life, or they were executing me in a past life, which is, I'd say 99% of the time that it was probably something to do with this life. I say this is probably, if I had to say 1%, I wouldn't say even 1% that I was being executed in a past life, but it's not something to rule out completely.
Holy Jesus, are we actually talking about a past life here, and you're talking about past life regression, and you're talking about
adoption,
being executed in a past life?
Yeah, but I'm thinking like a certain memories that was so past. I think it's unlikely, but memories get muddled and all that, but I think it was most likely that they were assessing me for like my brain waves.
Are we dipping on reincarnation here?
You'd think I was, yeah.
I'm staying.
Sorry.
Keep listening to you, but you keep going, man.
But I know.
See where you're going.
I don't know. It's so fucked up. I was dipping on reincarnation, but back to adoption thingy. It almost seemed to went further back that I almost was convinced that I was being reincarnated, because the memories was like so muddled. Like the fact that I was so young, but I still have them. I was almost convinced they were from my past life, aka reincarnation. So that's how kind of weird it is. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I was just associating two and two, and I'm thinking like crazy stuff. But one of my earliest memories was like Christmas. Coming to Christmas. I don't have any other recollection of me being in that country. I definitely don't. Before I was adopted. Yeah. So the only recollection of me is here, like in Ireland. So, and like I'd love to be able to think back. Like I said, the only recollection that I would almost think it was verifiable was me with my adopted mum in the previous country, freezing to death, and she's trying to keep me warm.
Holy Jesus.
That's the only thing.
Why were you fucking cold? Like, they don't have heat in there? Like, what's the fuck crack?
Well, it's a very poor country, and I was adopted in the middle of winter. Right. And it's much colder than here in the winter, but it's a lot hotter than here in the summer. They get the two extremes. They always get cold winters, but they always get extremely hot summers as well. So, but I was adopted during the winter, so I was probably exceptionally uncomfortable, because I was only like 1.5 years old, I think.
Holy jazz.
So I think taking.
Where were you up until 1.5? Like.
In that country, like no one knows. In an orphanage.
You were were you born in an orphanage, or like how's that even?
No, I was born like the normal way in a hospital, but then I had to be put in an orphanage because of circumstances. I'll say the country, Romania.
Oh my god.
Ceausescu wanted people to have lots of kids, and they kind of forced people into having them, and the parents couldn't afford them to have them all. And
who forced them to have loads of kids?
Ceausescu, the government of the dictators of Romania.
It said have a load of kids there.
Yes, and I'll give you tax free and all. So he deliberately the ones that had less kids, they'd make poor, because he wanted them to have more kids so they could I think I'm not sure. Possibly, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not 100% sure. Possibly to kind of keep the economy going in the country. I'm not 100% sure. I can't verify.
Kids to keep the economy going.
Possibly, yeah. He wanted mothers to have more kids. The more kids, the better. He'd treat them better, because they'd be the later people who will take over ultimately.
Oh. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So I think it kind of went like that, but it kind of went against the whole thing, and I was like during his regime I was eventually adopted, so like parents put kids in orphanages because he gave them certain privileges if they like had more children, even if they
I'd no idea.
I think it's crazy, it's absolutely crazy. So people used to go from like other countries used to go and adopt them during that time. He was eventually executed, believe it or not.
This dictator guy?
Yeah, Ceausescu, he was shot.
No way.
Him and his wife were both shot. Like, they're both executed. So in 1990, I think they were executed. This before like the whole EU came into it. It was happened like in 2004.
Holy Jesus!
Yeah.
This is.
Oh, it was incredible. So that's now. I don't think it's so bad nowadays, but it's kind of thing that takes long times. But that's how it happened, and I've known like people who were adopted from the same country, and because of the same reason. Because a lot of people here in Ireland used to do that as well, adopt them and bring them here. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I heard stories about babies coming in the suitcase and all sorts of mad shit just to avoid paperwork and shit and
yeah, well, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Air holes in the suitcase and all mad shit.
You could do that. You could do that back then as well. Yeah, absolutely crazy. No, I didn't do it that way, but it was just crazy.
You didn't come in a suitcase.
Actually, I did live in a suitcase. Apparently.
What?
Because in hotel rooms over there, they didn't have extra beds, so they set up a little blanket in a suitcase as a cushion.
Jesus fucking hell! Are you talking before you went? Wait, are you talking about your adopted parents?
When my parents initially adopted me before I came to Ireland, the difference between they took me out of the place and then we were in the hotel and then yeah, no, it's grand. I know.
It's cute when you think about it that way.
I know, it's like case closed, case open. I rest my case. I literally rest my case like. It's so funny. I wish I remembered that because I could remember the photo of me. I was only a fucking midget.
You said you were having some mad nightmares to do with adoption.
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
Flashbacks you were having from deciphering what they meant and stuff.
Okay.
Or if they're muddled.
I think they're muddled, but
or if they're even to do a past life thing, or what even.
I wouldn't.
Trying to make sense of it anyway.
I'd like to know what happened. I had these peculiar nightmares which lasted me all the way to like. Beginning it was like almost constant, traumatized the fuck out of me. But then when I got to about 10 or 11 it stopped and then it didn't happen ever again. So
any idea what kind of...
So the nightmares were like, this is really fucked up, this is like unconventional nightmares.
They just stopped by themselves, by the way, at round 10. Was there any kind of, like, you know, was a stimulant? Like,
no, not at all.
Just random enough.
I would say, like, imagine your typical nightmare where you're running away from something that can't get you. That's a typical conventional nightmare because my nightmares people couldn't describe it about and I never heard anyone else having, or even on the internet or anything. But these nightmares were so weird, like imagine picking up a pole.
Yeah.
And it was like a black pole that was shadowy and that was attacking me in my nightmares. And it used to do horrific things like kidnap me and just come out of the shadow. Just a shadows of a pole shaped object coming at me and attacking me. And and it was very violent. It was the most violent nightmares I ever had, and it was just the things, even it's like 4, 5, 6, 7 all the way up to like 9 days used to attack me and like give me horrific dreams, like. And then I had a nightmare where those pickles were all around the room. In the nightmare my mum was carrying me to get out of the house and they were all there waiting to attack us.
Jesus,
like kill us, like
fear of being attacked or maybe.
And because of that I had a phobia of the dark because it was only in the dark would these things appear to me.
Right.
So that's why if my parents went to bed they'd leave the light on outside because I had a massive fear of the dark purely because of those things. And I know we all have dark, but I probably think I might have had dark. I think nightmares and darks associate the same thing. The fear of the dark is a common phobia, though, isn't it?
Like 100%.
At that stage.
Yeah.
But in that, now it's fine with me because I know how to think. But back then, like, And he used to call them black favourites, because anything that I'd call it black, because they were black poles, and I'd call them favourites. I don't know why. I just call them really strange names, just to name them something else, like to try and...
Oh, the people in your dreams. You call those people
the black things that used to attack me.
Oh, you call them black favourites.
Yeah, nothing to do with black. Yeah. And I don't know why they call them favourites. Maybe it's kind of thing, trying to make friends embrace something that's negative to put it into something positive. So maybe my mind was...
You called them black favourites. No one else did.
Yeah, me.
Okay.
Because I didn't know what favourite meant. I didn't know what I didn't know.
Like sound the word or whatever.
Yeah, maybe the word. I didn't know favourite meant as in like you're my favourite person. I thought it was like just a random word. It's just a word that came up and I just associated with black favourites.
Yeah.
And I used to go hysterical thinking about they're going to turn the light off and all that.
Yeah.
So they used to leave it on because of that. And I used to leave my bedroom door open. So all those things, like, they were things that I had to kind of eventually overcome, which I did.
Yeah. And
they were intense to begin with, but they get less over time, like up and down, but less and less and less until it was like... And it's one of those things where once it stopped, it was non-existent. I never revisited it for the last 20 probably 20 years almost. 20 years I haven't had anything like that. And yeah, I'd go for a 10-year stop, but then for the next 20 years it wouldn't happen. So it's really crazy. So maybe, and you ready for a reason why I think it happened? Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why I think it happened? Because apparently when I was born, do you know the umbilical cord?
Yeah. Oh shit.
That was apparently wrapped around my neck, and I nearly died apparently.
Shit. So and maybe the black ones are like the doctor is trying to save you or some shit.
I think the black thing was, do you know the one, remember I was describing the pulse shape? I think that was the umbilical cord.
So I think it was the doctors trying to like grab and unwrap it around your neck and it was the black.
I don't know, it's funny, but because the shape was very specific.
You were actually there, like, you actually know it was like...
Well, not on a conscious level. Yeah. But it was actually, I really thought it was some umbilical cord, and I was like... And my parents even said you nearly died. And I nearly died while in orphanage. I nearly died of pneumonia.
Jeez, you're fucking nearly dying as a part-time job growing up. Sorry.
Sure. I only beat the odds by 0.001%. So what's on this? No, seriously.
No, you.
No.
I'm not going near that fucking vodka.
It's book fast. It's book
fast. Enough.
Nice. You got it. Grand.
Fucking tidy old job here.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's fucking stuff to be fucking chatting about.
Joe, it's very easy tonight. It's very easy.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's easy. I'm very comfortable doing this. I mean, I could go on all night about the black things that like try to rape me.
Whoa, Jesus. Emotionally.
I don't know what to think about the things, but they torment me in my dreams. I'm looking at a TV screen, a bright TV screen, even like the one we're looking at now, and then these black things were like a pulse shape kind of come out of nowhere. And there's one stage I remember in a dream that something like that tried to strangle my neck, and I'm thinking back, I realised it now, it's like an umbilical cord that I was being probably wrapped around my neck, apparently, that I nearly died from. So I think that's where it came from. Yeah. And also I was in a cot in the magpie with a big long tail, which is black, like similar shape.
What the fuck?
I don't know, it was so fucked up. I cannot think why I have the most unconventional things that run through my fucking brain. It's unbelievable. You would want me to off the fucking planet if you knew what
magpie dropping you. That's such a strange thing to remember.
Magpie and an umbilical cord, like, don't they fucking all have them all, at least the male version? Like, what fucked up shit? Yeah, I know, it's unconventional beyond. But yeah, that's my adoption nightmares because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just fucking big balls when you're talking about this shit, man.
It's grand. But yeah, no, but that's where I think a lot of this... I had a lot of fears. I had fear of heights, going down size and everything else. Like I had a fear of adventure.
Fear of adventure, but is this all related to your adoption and shit?
Oh, I think so. I can't say yes or no.
Just fear of the unknown.
Maybe because I'm used to, because I was brought over from that country, Romania, to Ireland at 1.5 years age. The fact that I was put on an airplane and I didn't know, I was just in a cop for 18 months and suddenly I was in an airplane going somewhere else and I didn't know what it was. I mean, the fact, maybe that's what it kind of, where it all started, maybe. And the fact that my family don't live in the same country, they live in England. And so we travel a lot, so to go and visit them. So maybe I'm used to travelling all the time, maybe. To me, it's a lot of travelling than like what you really would expect. And the fact that I've loved it ever since, and I love it even more now. I'm doing the same thing as they did, even more so, a more enhanced version. So I'd continue travelling, and I'd go to I'd take it, the whole thing. I'd take how I live my life to the next level, just to kind of see what's this all about, and like what can I do with it, what else can I do with it. Yeah. Maybe because I'm used to it, and like, let's see what we can do with this. Here we go.
You yourself and your sister were both adopted, but you adopted from different families and stuff.
Yeah.
Could you explain maybe any like, we're not going to talk about her, but some maybe similarities that you have noticed between yourself and other people who were adopted, and how you think your own personal theories, because you're almost an expert in adoption and how you can see other people's. Could you explain some of your own personal theories on how adoption affects someone growing up? Because I'd love to hear your theories and how you've seen other people who are adopted, and what your own theories, because you know, like, inside out, like what they might be thinking and shit.
Well, I think one of the things that I would bring to that is like the timing in which the parents told the children they were adopted. I think in a lot of situations, my parents were, in fairness, very, very good. They kept it consistent by telling me all along. Where I think some of those families,
how do they even fucking say that to you in day one? Like, they just go listening.
They kind of just remind me, like, if I talk about subjects, they might bring it back to that, and like, you were adopted, and they'd just be repetitive. And
from day one, like.
Yeah, they would do it, and just so they wouldn't tell me, and it'd come as a shock. Now I think they can't do it perfectly. I mean, that's not going to happen. But I think they did an extremely good job, to the point where every other person I've known or heard that was adopted, they were traumatized and thinking, these are not my real parents. They felt like they were like pretending to be their parents. They felt let down, and I think there's a lot of anger.
Jesus Christ.
And the other thing is, some of the people who were adopted, they remembered being so-called abandoned when they put in the orphanage, and their perceptions that they were truly abandoned.
Yeah.
And my sister as well, unfortunately.
Really?
Unfortunately, she was abandoned by her parent and her grandmother. So she was like abandoned twice. So I don't know if she ever recovered from that. I mean, she's like older than me, and she hasn't even gotten over that.
Yeah, we can't.
Yeah, I can't say. I won't go into any.
She's not here to say her own bit and all. And these are all fictional.
They were only fair. They weren't real.
This is like Dr. Business's.
Business Boogie.
Dr. Boogie's something. Extraterrestrial friend in something. So we're not speaking for anyone or whatever.
Not at all. But like I said, some people, they kind of sort of remember the experience. They have vague memories enough to kind of cause them enough distress, along with the parents not telling them in a consistent way what they should be. Whereas my parents were they were like exceptional to that. I think, considering statistically that they don't exactly do a great job. I think my parents would have been the exception. They would have actually made it comfortable enough for me not to be distressed hearing about it.
Did your fictional sister feel that you were talking about that kind of anger of fake parents? Something because she obviously was your parents. You had the same parenting style. So,
yeah.
But did she react differently to the same parenting style, or?
Absolutely, 100%.
Really.
120%.
It seems like maybe it's more up to the individual and up to a bit more.
Yeah, I think so, absolutely. Yeah, No, because we both reacted very differently, extremely differently.
That's very interesting.
Extremely, yeah, 100%. I'd say 120%.
Same environment, completely different perspectives.
Oh,
maybe.
Absolutely. And still to this very day that hasn't changed.
Right. That's
like a long time later.
That's the kind of stuff that just hurts my head. It's like, that makes no sense. How's that even
possible? It doesn't to me. It does. And I think it's all because of where we came from, because we weren't born. If we were born under the same mother, that might have been, the situation would have been a little bit different, possibly. It might have been a little bit, statistically, it would have been a little bit more akin. Not a lot more, but it would have been. Now it can be, but it just most likely would have been a little bit, not quite as extreme. Whereas this case, it was very extreme.
Yeah. And I've possibly heard some touch on it. Just because you will be an expert, as in you'll be able to tell that, you might be able to tell if someone's adopted just by at a house party. You kind of like, I can kind of, maybe they're adopted just from whatever way they say something or whatever. They might be getting off some weird vibes. Now, I don't want to get into that, but what I would like to get into is just some more. Could we get into either some of the horror stories or success stories, as either, because you have that special gift of you can say anything you want to adopted people and you have like anonymity or whatever. So would you mention maybe if you heard a whisper of some mad story that maybe was a friend of friend, or
of course,
or even, and then try to even that out, balance in life by going through some success stories. Like, you're obviously a massive success story, but could you just reinforce that with another example? So I'd love to hear.
I go through another example, and you know about this particular story.
No names, but yeah.
But I won't say any names. But there was this guy who I was living with in college, and
was he adopted?
He was same country.
Was he Romanian as well?
He was, yeah.
Alright.
But his parents were the adopted parents, the one who let him studying in college, where we were. That's all I'm saying about the place. But his parents were helicopter parents. You know about helicopter parents?
Hot and cold, isn't it?
The helicopter parents are parents who are like so involved in the children's life that the children have no space.
Micromanaging.
The parents know everything they do. They check up on their school. It's like, I hope he was on time. He came back from break on time and all that. Like, really. But the disgraceful thing is, this person was like, I was 21 at the time and he was 23, and every single morning I heard on the phone at 7 o'clock in the morning, it's like the mother giving that to him, making sure he got to college on time every single morning, and he's living up away from his parents.
Yeah. And
the poor man, he had absolutely no social skills. You met this guy, and like you're saying, he's going to do really inappropriate shit and all that. Like, but I don't put the blame entirely down to him. Like, obviously he's 23, but at 23 years age, you don't expect a mother to be saying, right, please wake him up every morning, make sure he gets to college in time, provide a babysitting service. She wanted a babysitting service for a 23-year-old. I was 21 years old living in that same house. None of that shit.
Well, that's not really a horror story. Like, that's like just fucking.
To me, that would be horror. To me, that'd be like the worst.
To me, horror story is fucking. Some kind of thing linking people who are adopted to fucking hard drugs, but we're not getting that.
You'll have to tell me about that.
No, that's not true. I just said that.
I never actually experienced that. I never experienced that, because I'd be interested, because I know plenty of adopted people who do get into drugs and get arrested, and criminal records and stalking and all that.
People do.
Oh jeez.
So that's fucking normal enough.
Oh yeah. I've gone to some personal people,
but keeping it general, I'd love to hear your theories about if someone's adopted, some things that. You mentioned that you have some advice for people adopted or some shit. I can't remember your tipping on that.
Probably not.
Alright, we're not getting into that.
I'm not sure. No, advice.
I'd love to hear your theories on, or no, sure, reckon we'll go back into your own story, because you know what you're
tell me, because I've forgotten.
So we touched on the dreams. We touched on your experience of your first little while in the Ireland and all the rest of it.
Then on Ireland.
Do you know what would be cool?
What?
Your adoptive parents, the family. I'd love to hear your like, you know, how the aunties and uncles treated you as an adopted person, like the aunties and uncles and all that mad shit. You know, like extended family. Like, did anyone go, "Oh, you're just like an old blow-in around the edge"?
No, I didn't. I actually didn't. No.
Just love all around. That's
yeah,
gorgeous.
Thank God. Yeah, I was lucky that way. Because luckily, when I was adopted from Romania, the family were from England, so they met me at Heathrow Airport before we went on the plane to Ireland. So they all
sounds great. I'm starting to wish I was adopted now.
So they all met me there at Heathrow, and then went off with my adopted parents back to Ireland where they lived. So then they were just visiting them on the way over.
Yeah.
Because you could do that. You wouldn't do that kind of thing now because we're connecting flights. So they took me out into the arrivals hall to meet them, and then after that, they took me home. Yeah,
that's fucking gorgeous. So listen, we've reached 30 minutes there. I don't want to pack up your whole fucking adoption in 30 minutes. I like it, yeah. But I don't wanna milk the subject, and I'm
very easy.
I don't wanna, it's just a very emotional thing. And
it's not at all.
So is there anything that you feel you'd, like, we can keep going, whatever, but for me and all the rest of it, that's like a gorgeous time mark. But if there's anything that you want to just get off your chest or whatever, if you was like, I'd like to talk about this, go for it. But that's a lovely landmark, and we can keep going as long as you feel like. So is there anything else you just want to fucking talk about as regards adoption? Cause
first of all, adoption,
your platform.
I found it, in my experience, a very precious experience. It's not like a replacement for something that was lost. It was a more enhancement, like it was like something. It was no less. I've nothing to feel bad about, and I think if you are one of those people, you're living a normal life, you're super lucky and well done. They absolutely loved you. They loved you to pick you. You are the chosen one. And it wasn't just something they choose you out of it wasn't like they just chose you randomly. They chose you. They really fell in love with you, and it's the same when they choose you to be adopted. It's the same way as if you were born to them. They'll treat you the same way as if you were the biological. It's no different. So try not to see yourself any different just because you were adopted. It's exactly the same. Everything else is the same, and there's nothing you did or nothing. It wasn't like you were a mental child and you were out of control. It was just it's a blessing. If anything, it's an absolute. It's just that extension on like the positivity. So it's all good. It's all good, 100%. It's not negative. It's not resolving a negative situation. It's enhancing a positive situation. It's enhancing potential.
That sounds fucking wonderful. I was completely coming at it from fucking some negative sideways bullshit, but you've just fucking sorted me out and just been like, nah, listen, adoption's fucking great crack. We should all get on board.
It's great. It's an adventure. I have to say, I think it's an adventure because what harm has it done to me? Absolutely none. No harm. It was all positive.
Let's say 50 years down the line, or so. No, some friends of yours go, listen, Dr. Boogie, I was considering me and the wife or whoever.
Yeah.
Me and the partner of whatever description, any pronoun or whatever you're into, keeping this PC. Or think about we can't have a kid or whatever.
And you want to adopt?
Or think about adopting. What do you have to say?
Definitely go for it.
Any advice? How do we go about it? Do you have anything about any tips on like fucking anything? Any bullet
Well, I couldn't give any organisation, but just like any kind of child. You know, a lot of people want to foster children. Like the fact that you're adopting, they want you better because.
So adopting, you'd recommend adopting over fostering.
Yeah, if you really want a child, go always aim for adopt. Make it your. it's a bigger commitment than marriage. Like, if you really want to, in my eyes, if you want, now maybe you could foster
bigger commitment than marriage. Shit.
Oh, absolutely.
What? Absolutely.
Yeah, well,
shit, man, you're reinforcing
with
reinforcement.
Having a kid, like, is the ultimate responsibility anyone can have. So just because they weren't born to you doesn't make it any less responsible. You're equally as responsible. If you adopted a kid, you should treat it the exact same way. Not just because if you adopt them, in your eyes you're giving birth to them, because you're giving them a new life. Like, their life is with you. You're grown up with you. There's no difference. It's not like just taking an animal for Christmas and giving it back 6 months later. That's not how it is. If you're adopting I don't know, like, by animals, but in terms of children, like, if you adopt a child, your commitment is to know from the outset that they're the most disruptive child that you could ever have. They're going to get expelled from every school, but yeah, you should know that the potential of them to get expelled from every school is extremely high, but you're going to love them and fall in love with them, and you're going to stick with that commitment. Yeah. Likewise, like, if you didn't put your birth child in care for getting expelled from every school, why would you do it with your adopted child? If you felt like because they were your adopted child you're going to put them in every school, then don't adopt. Treat them exactly the same way as if you gave birth to it. No different. And that's how I treat it. So I would expect, I know it doesn't happen, but if I want to send a message again, to hopefully it might make a bit of a difference. If you want to adopt a child, treat them as if they were your birth child. Yeah. This is not something for the 6 or 3 years. This is forever. This is until you die kind of commitment. That's what my parents have done, and I know they have. And so I'll set by example, and they would completely agree with me. Like, they would not change for a thing. They will be with you through the worst. They will experience you at your worst and not be any less proud of you. They're the kind of people who will get you through. If your parents give birth to you to go do that, if you're going to adopt, make absolutely sure you're prepared to accept that kind of commitment. Even it will be hard, and it's okay to admit that it's hard. It's no adjustment, but as long as you see it through, then go ahead with it. That's what I would say, and to me it's been an enormous benefit. So to me it's been a super positive experience. Like, the test has been kind of passed, like, it's. So yeah, and I'd do it in the future. I would.
You really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Shit, would you choose it over, like, you know?
I wouldn't choose it over. It's hard to know. I mean, I could go for one born, one adopted. Right. I mean, if I was in a position, if I gave birth to one and they wanted a sister, and I was like, we adopt, then yeah, I probably would do. And to me, they wouldn't be any different than to the one that gave birth. I don't know, I couldn't say, I'm not in that position yet. Or far, a long way off. Yeah. But I'm just saying, from my experience, I think if you want to give me the experience that I had, then this is how you do.
Damn.
It's the same thing, really. It's just coming at it from a different angle, but it has the same outcome, exact same outcome as if it is no different.
A bigger commitment than fucking marriage. Holy fucking
flip-flops. You want to make sure the child's coming to a stable family, and that. Well, even if you don't even have to be married. If you're just a single parent and you're well capable, bring them in. If you're that good a person who loves children, you can do it. Do it.
You're speaking of the style of adoption where it's not like a kind of a not a weird adoption. You're talking about the style of adoption where it's pre-planned. It's not like the kind of adoption where, like, a family member dies and it's kind of like, who's gonna look after the child or whatever. This is,
in my case, it was pre-planned, yeah.
Months in advance, possible paperwork.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah.
It wasn't.
No, I'm not really in a position to say about when it happens suddenly with a death, and I'm not in a position.
Yeah.
I don't want to give up.
I was just talking about different styles or yeah.
I know. It's hard to. I mean, it's easy for me to say, well, just take the child in. You'll be fine. You'll be okay. I know you love the child. It's easy for me to say because I'm not going to go. if someone rang me up, hey, by the way, would you adopt this child forever? Like,
jeez.
What's it like? You see, for me to say until I get the phone call, would I be saying the same thing? Probably not. Would anyone? So yeah.
Deep.
So that's the kind of thing. Like, I mean, what are we? What can we do, and what can we have to be able to know these things? I mean, anything which involves taking another life into you does have to have preparation. You can't just do it the next day. It doesn't work like that.
Well, I think a lot of people would feel a responsibility to adopt a kid regardless of their financial position. If, like, say their brother
and I think
died and the dad of the kid there, like, listen, we have no money, but we have to look after our own. And
I think as good as it is, I think there is sort of other things they have to take into consideration. They have to look at other, like, pointers and things that, like, are they really, like, what is best? Like, I mean, even if you decide that you're the kind of person who can't do it, it doesn't mean you hate the child or anything like that. It just means you're not in that position, and that's okay. Because the fact that you're honest and you're open about it, you're loving the child just by saying you're not in a position. And as hard and extremely hard as it is what it is. Basically, you're not being abusive. You're not abandoning. And that's where the whole adoption thing is, putting them into orphanage. It's not abandoning. It's just like, we can't give you the best. We want to put you in a better position.
Yeah.
That's where all this thing comes from, and that's where a lot of people in this situation kind of fall short. And it will always be the way until they have that little bit more understanding and they can handle the whole process. It needs to improve. It is on its way, so it needs to kind of keep going a little bit so that it can kind of be addressed a little bit better and kind of have a bit of a different perception. So that's what I think anyway. That's my opinion personally. Only South Park knows better.
So, perception or perspective?
I think both. What's the difference?
I know.
Fucking hell, yeah. Fucking hell.
Did Dr. Boogie mean this or that? And I was like, fuck, what's the... so
I probably met both, but to us.
But, do you know, I'm back pulling you off track. I think you know best. Stick to what you know. And what
no,
you know
say it.
You know adoption inside out because you fucking
I wouldn't know,
you lived it.
Because I don't remember it, but I'm aware of it.
You know, I guess...
But go on, say it, yeah.
Well, I tried to be, like, controversial, but, like, oh my god, adopted people use drugs and all this magic.
Yeah, no, say it.
But listen, that was a lot of bollocks.
I like it. Say it.
No, I'm just trying to inspire each other. But listen, I'm absolutely chuffed with what we talked about, so I'm happy to leave it there. But once again, if you something else you want to get off your chest, and you fucking...
So when you say adoption, like, by drugs, do you mean, like, the parents?
No, listen, don't get into that. I was just literally...
Oh, okay.
Literally, like, looking for a bit of stirring the pot, you know, poking you. I was just talking a load of shite, you know me, just looking for controversy.
No, I like that.
So, that I was talking waffles.
No, I like that.
Sure, listen, do you have any other things you feel very passionate about right now, or have we just call it a day?
I think call it a day.
Call it. Brilliant. Yeah. I appreciate your bravery, Dr. Boogie. That's your inspiration. And we're finishing up, and that's the end of it. Right, goodbye everyone.
We love you. Happy New Year. Happy, not unhappy New Year. So